Hello, I'm a little late for this live. I wanted to start about 8 minutes ago, but I was getting everything ready for this live. It's a busy day today and I need my lunch. So I'm going to be preparing it here with you. So you can grab a pen and paper so you can write the recipe down if you want. This recipe though can also be found in the Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook, which is currently part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, which ends tomorrow. So if you want to grab it, please go check the link in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, because after May 12th, after Mother's Day ends, you're not going to be able to get this bundle for $50 anymore. If you want to buy all of the things separately, you can, but it'll cost over $840. So if you want to get all of our new content, do it now. I don't mind if you leave the live, go get the bundle, and then come back, because you have 1 year to download all of the content and have it for yourself after. So please go grab the bundle. This is your last weekend to do so. And this recipe is the biryani, and this recipe is, like I said, in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, in the Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook. But this recipe also has a mango chutney with it that is part of the recipe. We're not going to be making that one today, just going to be making the biryani itself. So if you want that extra bonus recipe, please go grab the bundle because it's in that ebook. And so biryani is a Persian dish. It originated in Persia, but now it's enjoyed in places like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. So I wanted to create a dish inspired by biryani flavors. And it's a very unique flavor dish, and I really enjoy it, so I want to share with you today. Now, what I'm making today is for 1 serving. The recipe in the ebook is for 2 or 3 people, depending on how hungry you are and what else you have to eat. So the one in the recipe is slightly different than the one I'm sharing now, but I did want to share with you. So if you want, again, grab a pen and paper and follow along. So we're gonna start with, we have our black forbidden rice that we have been blooming for the last, like almost 3 days. And this is what it kind of looks like. I have videos where I show how we do it. Basically just soak the Lotus Foods black forbidden rice in water, and these have been soaking now, again, almost 3 days. And we're gonna be making another recipe tomorrow on Chef AJ Live at 11 a.m. PST. So please join us. We're gonna be making the Fiesta rice. It's a really delicious recipe, and I know you're gonna love it. So join us over on Chef AJ Live tomorrow, Mother's Day, at 11 a.m. PST. We're gonna be making that recipe there. But today we're making this one. So we've got approximately 1 cup of black forbidden rice here in our bowl. And if you were with us early on in the bundle, we marinated the biryani chickpeas that we sprouted, and then we marinated, and then we froze them. So I took these out of the freezer earlier today and let them thaw. So they're not super frozen. I'm not gonna use them all because, again, this is a 1 serving recipe, and you can take some of the marinade as well and add it in here. So I'm only gonna put probably like maybe 1/3 of a cup worth of the chickpeas, and then the rest I'm just going to either put in the fridge and have tomorrow, or put back in the freezer if I want to do that. So next ingredient for this. So as you can see, we've got the black forbidden rice and the chickpeas, and those are in there. We're gonna do some fresh herbs. We are going to chop up the parsley and cilantro. Now you can put as much or as little of this in as you want. Like if you're not too much a fan of either or, feel free to change it up however you want, but it's probably about a 1/4 cup or so of each. And I don't know about you, it would be interesting to hear in the chat, who doesn't mind the stems on their fresh herbs when they chop them in salads? If you don't mind put a 1 in the chat if you don't mind, and put a 2 in the chat if you are like me and you need to take the leaves off the stems. I don't know why, but that's just something that I am like, I'm not too much a fan of the stems for some reason. I will use the stems in like dressings if I'm blending it up or what have you, but for some reason I'm just not a stem person. One, oh, you don't mind the stems? That's awesome, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm just one of those people who I'm just like not a fan of the stems. So bear with me here. I'm just gonna take these off. This is part of the food prep too. And you know, like a lot of us don't necessarily enjoy the food prep, and food prep is food prep. It's something that we're gonna be doing every day. And it's just something like laundry and brushing our teeth and two for sure. It's just something that we need to do. And you know, certain little things like this make my meal more enjoyable for me, and everyone's going to be slightly different. We're all going to like different things at different times, and you take the time to make the food the way you want to make the food. And I found I found that food prep is very meditative, and I really like taking the time to touch my food and chop my food and look at my food and see all the vibrant colors and just be appreciative. And you know, when I'm doing stuff like this, you know, I'm grateful for the farmers who picked this, and for the markets who sold this, and it's just such a great way to get into connection with your food. I don't know if I'm going to put all this parsley in here. I may not. No, I think I'll just do, it's probably going to be just over like 3 tablespoons worth of chopped parsley, give or take. But again, like you can put as much or as little as you want in here. If you're not a parsley fan, you can skip it, but it does give like quite an authentic flavor using the parsley. So here we go. And then just loosely chop or finely chop, again, however you like it, so that we have some fresh herb. I like it kind of thinly chopped because then you don't get as much of like a big chunk in each bite. It kind of mixes with everything else nicely. So here we go. I'm just gonna chop, maybe give one more go over. There we go. Okay, so we've got our fresh herbs going into the bowl. Then we will move on to the next ingredient, which will be bell pepper. So we're going to take this lovely bell pepper that needs some love. It's been sitting around for a little bit and I need to use it. So I'm glad I'm making this because we're going to enjoy this bell pepper. So you can chop the bell pepper however you like. I like it julienne style, but I'm gonna do this one kind of cubed or minced, I guess, for this recipe. So I'm just gonna rough chop this bell pepper into little chunks. And you could do like probably about, I don't know, for one serving, about half of a bell pepper is pretty good. That was a pretty big bell pepper. I'm probably gonna use the rest in a sauce later tonight, or chop the rest in a salad later. I also have a really cool thing that I'm going to be eating for dinner. Behind me in the dehydrator, I have Daniel McKinnon's Forbidden Rice Miso Burger Patties. So we're going to be making Daniel's burgers tonight. Not live, but I'm going to make them and then we're going to eat them together because he's going to be live with me at 5 p.m. PST tonight. So if you want to hang around while I don't know if he'll have some food with him, but I know I will, and I'm going to be making his mustard, which is a very unique mustard. And his recipes are all in the bundle too, so if you want to get our new ebooks, and Chris's new ebook, and Daniel's new ebook, and Susanna's new ebook, and Rennie's new ebook, Alana's new ebook, who else? I think there's 33 new ebooks in this bundle, and we put them all together in this bundle for you. And it's only $50 to get everyone's brand new content. And on Monday, we're gonna have all the content available on our own websites, but if you wanted to buy it all, it would cost you over $840. So go get it all for $50. It's only here until tomorrow. I've got half a cup of grated carrots. I just had them pre-grated, so that was easy. And then we've got red onion. So For those of you who know me, I am a massive onion fan. I eat a lot of onions, like we're talking lots and lots of onions. So I'm probably gonna add a lot more than the average person would add to this recipe. So you could start with like a tablespoon or two of minced red onion and work your way up. I, again, like a lot. I'm probably gonna put a lot in here. But I eat so much red onion that like I can tell when there's not enough for me in there. So I'm gonna do probably, let's do 3 rings. That's probably gonna be about a 1/4 cup chopped up here, give or take. So what I like to do, this is how I chop my onions. I cut the rings in half and then I just go around like a rainbow, cutting them like this until they're fine little diced pieces. That's my favorite way of doing it. We all have our favorite ways of chopping, and as you chop, as you learn like different little techniques and stuff, the chopping can get easier and take less time. So there we go, we've got our red onion chopped like little pieces in there. And then the final ingredient for the base of our biryani is the raisins. So I've got some raisins here that I have been soaking, just because like a lot of raisins can have like sulfur and stuff on them, but like if you get the unsulfured ones, they can get really hard in the cupboard. So I like to soak my raisins. Plus they're a lot nicer to eat in the salad when they're softer. So I soaked up those raisins. There we go. And now it's time for the sauce. So we're gonna make the sauce here. Okay, so don't forget, get your pen and paper, because this recipe, like this one here, is slightly different than the one in volume 3 of Make It Raw, because I'm making only 1 serving of this just for me. I kind of changed the recipe slightly, so you can take note, or you can make a double batch and share with somebody, or what have you. But we're gonna start with, I've got this organic coconut nectar. You could use any liquid sweetener of your choice. You could use maple syrup, or preferred is the best liquid sweetener for raw is date syrup. That's gonna be the best option. So you can use date syrup, but I'm gonna use this coconut nectar, and I'm putting 2 teaspoons, I'm just eyeballing it, 2 teaspoons in there to start, and then can add water too if we need to. But I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of miso paste as well. So again, eyeballing it, maybe a little bit more. There we go. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this just to get it to blend a little bit. Just use the spoon here. I brought my water so that I could add some water just to get it to blend a little bit with the sweetener. There we go. Make it nice and creamy here. Mixing the miso with the coconut nectar or date syrup. Again, date syrup is probably the best option. There we go. So once that's blended, we can move on to all the flavors, the delicious flavors. So I have a clove of garlic. You probably want to put like half a teaspoon. Depends on how much you like garlic. If you're not a fan, then maybe just like 1/8 of a teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of grated garlic. But I'm a huge garlic fan, so I'm putting like half a teaspoon in here. Yes, lots and lots of garlic. Then I want ginger. Again, this is going to be about half a teaspoon of ginger. And what I like to do is take like a vegetable peeler and peel off the outside skin of the ginger, because it makes it easier to grate. So once you get that peeled a little bit, then you can grate it. And I just use the same grater from the garlic and just grate that ginger. Freshly grated ginger. And the fresher the ginger, the easier it is to grate, because there's a higher water content. as ginger dries and matures, like on the shelf, it gets a little harder and more fibrous. So always look for fresh ginger. That's going to be your best option if you can. Obviously, not everyone has like super fresh ginger. The freshest ginger that I ever ate was, I got some in the market in LA, and it was the best ginger I ever had. The fresh that was like just harvest like that day. It was super hydrated. There was so much water in there. So I'm doing like about half a teaspoon of grated ginger in there. Ooh, rag. It's getting messy. Okay, next up, let's just mix this up really quick here. All right, looking good, looking good. And if you want, you know, I'm gonna actually add just a little bit extra coconut nectar to that because I'm feeling like I wanted a little sweet today. So play around with the recipe too, with the different ratios and see what you like best. Okay, so next up we have cumin. Okay, we got a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin. I'll put that in there. Then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of ground coriander. Get that in there. Then we have 1/8 of a teaspoon of cardamom, and cardamom is a really good microbiome spice. Spices are actually really good for the microbiome. There's quite a few, like allspice is really good, cardamom's good, black pepper, good for the microbiome. So 1/8 of a teaspoon of cardamom ground. Then we got turmeric. Turmeric, we've got 1/8 of a teaspoon. There we go. Then we have anise, and I had to grind this fresh from the seeds that I have. So it smells amazing. Ground fresh spices are so good. So good. Do you have this recipe on your profile? No, this recipe is in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle in our Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook, or you could re-watch this and just write it down. Totally. I don't have it on my page because it's in the bundle. So get the bundle, link is in my bio. $50 for over $800 worth of brand new content. So we're doing a 1/16 teaspoon of cinnamon. You don't want to go too heavy on the cinnamon because it can overpower. So I'm doing a 1/16, which is 1/2 of an 1/8 of a teaspoon. And that's that. That is that. So we can mix that up into like kind of a thicker paste that we have here. All right. There we go. So this is the paste that we're gonna put in our salad. So as you can see, here we go. We've got our big salad ready to go. And let's put this in here. So basically all you do is put the sauce into your salad. And then you could do this with clean hands if you want to. You can just get right in there and mix it all up really nice. What about the anise? Is that strong, or is a 1/4 teaspoon okay with anise? I never used it. That's why I use the 1/4 teaspoon, because it can be strong. And I always recommend for people to start slow with the spices, because some people really love the extra spice and other people don't. So it's totally up to you how much you use in your recipes. I encourage people to start with 1/2 the amount listed in the recipe. And then if you want to add more, you can totally add more. It's easy to add. It's not so easy to take away. So use your discretion. If you want to, go for it. If you think it's too strong, don't use as much. It's completely up to you. You are in charge. And I always recommend trying the recipe as is, just to see what the author of the recipe likes and how they blend everything. And then after that, you can be like, well, you know, I liked it, but it was too spicy, or it had too much garlic, or it was too gingery, or what have you. And that doesn't mean that the recipe was bad. It just means that the author of that recipe really liked ginger. So they put a lot of ginger in. Or maybe they really like anise, so they put more anise in. But always start slow, because we're all so different. We all have different flavor preferences, and it's all okay. So if you try a recipe and you're not super fan of it, play around. Play around. It's okay to use less spice. You know, sometimes I'll find a recipe and I try it and I'm like, you know, I would like it if there was like more onion powder. Or, you know, maybe it's also, like, think about your spices too. Freshly ground anise is stronger than anise that's been sitting in your cupboard for a year, right? It's gonna have much more flavor when it's freshly ground, as opposed to when it's sitting in your fridge or pantry forever, right? And also think about garlic. Certain garlic species are way stronger than other ones. A lot of the garlic that's in the grocery store is pretty mild compared to some of the wild varieties that can be so strong that you can only use like a tiny clove, and it's like super intense. So keep that in mind when you're using ingredients as well. Can you use a dash of salt and pepper? It's totally up to you what you want to add. I personally do not add salt to any of my meals unless it's in the form of miso or coconut aminos, or maybe fermented foods that I add on top of my salads most days. But I do not add straight salt. I don't use Himalayan salt. I don't use Celtic salt. I don't use any salt. I only use whole food sources of sodium, which would be like miso paste, or like the coconut aminos, which is fermented coconut tree sap, which has some sodium in it. So I personally do not add salt to my meals or my dressings, but it's totally your prerogative. If that's something that you want to add, if you're free to add. I do add pepper because it's just ground peppercorn, but I try to keep my salt in whole food form. That's just my thoughts too. I try to be low salt. I aim to get around 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams maximum a day of any salt, like from the miso or the coconut aminos. I usually hover around 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day worth of sodium from all the food that I eat and any extra things that I add, like fermented foods or what have you. But the average person is eating, okay, if I'm averaging 500 to 1,000, the average North American is eating over 3,400 milligrams of sodium a day. So this is causing a lot of issues with hypertension and, you know, water retention and imbalances with the potassium and all that kind of stuff. So I don't eat salt. I don't add it to my meals or whatever. And it takes a little getting used to, for sure. Like if you're used to eating things that have salt in it and you try something that doesn't, sometimes it's like, you know, but like you can use miso. Miso paste. What we put in here, we put miso paste in here, so it will have that little salty umami-ness to it. So look at that colorful salad. Look how beautiful that is. So wonderful. This is a gorgeous salad. We're going to plate it up here into my nice little bowl. And like I said, if you are making this from the Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook, there is an orange hemp chutney that you can make to put on top of this. Just like put a couple scoops of it on top, which adds so much to this dish. But because I'm just making lunch and I just wanted to eat this, I didn't bother making the chutney. But you can totally make it if you get the bundle. Open up the Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook and make this recipe along with it's like an orange mint hemp chutney sauce kind of style thing, and you add it to the top of your biryani. But check this out, it's so pretty. I love all the colors. I love seeing the chickpeas in there. And there we go. There's our salad. So delicious. Oh my gosh. So again, thank you so much for joining me as I make my lunch here. This is going to be pretty filling because it's got the chickpeas and the black forbidden rice that we bloomed in here as well. So that's going to be really good. What's your book's name? So we have 2 ebooks that we contributed to this bundle, which you can get in the link in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. The 2 that I have contributed to this bundle between myself and Nate is the Make It Raw Volume 3. This is the 3rd installment of the Make It Raw series that I write with Chef AJ. And this one has 47 new recipes, including the biryani, and there's like the gnocchi and the pierogi and the Swedish style meatballs. There's like the Lebanese lentil lemon soup in there too. Tons of new favorites. The chana masala. Oh, one of my absolute favorite new dishes is the chana masala. But all of those you can find in the Make It Raw Volume 3 ebook in the bundle. But Nate and I also wrote our Tales from the Tailgate ebook, which is our Traveling as Raw Vegans ebook. And this ebook is 277 pages with over 100 recipes of the things that we've eaten over the last 5 to 6 years together, traveling, camping, hiking, backpacking, road tripping, air travel. We even go over like how we ate raw at resorts, like all-inclusive regular resorts. So all of that information, how we plan, how we pack, how we prep, all of it, camping, safety tips and tools and links and all kinds of stuff is in that ebook. And you can get that as well as Volume 3 of Make It Raw in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, but it ends tomorrow, after which you will be able to get them in my ebook store. But it's actually a better deal to get the bundle because you get everyone else's stuff too. You get Chris Kendall's new banana book. You get Daniel's new edible art ebook, which has the burgers that we're going to eat tonight for dinner in that ebook. So to get like the most value, get the bundle because you get both of our brand new ebooks plus everyone else's brand new ebooks for just $50. It's so worth it. Go grab it. But it ends tomorrow. It ends tomorrow. Can you eat this way if you're exclusively breastfeeding full-time? I know many mamas who are breastfeeding and are raw vegan. The thing is, when you're breastfeeding, you need an extra 500 calories above what you're already eating to compensate for that and to get extra nutrition for the baby as well. So no matter what diet you're on, you have to eat more when you're breastfeeding to compensate for that. So when you're on a raw diet, you have to eat more calories as well. And that can be very challenging because raw food is very low calorie density. So you have to eat more of it to get the amount of calories and the nutrition that you need, which is fine. If you like to eat, you gotta eat. You gotta eat more though. So if you feel hungry, eat. It's not bad to eat when you're hungry. We should not be controlling our hunger. We need to be honoring our hunger, and we need to be eating more than we think we are, especially on a raw diet because, like I said, it's lower calorie density. So, but I know mamas, actually there are there's 4 raw babies in have their parents in this bundle. So if you buy the bundle, you're getting Lexi's raw mama journey. Actually, there's 5 in this bundle. It's crazy. So Lexi Tavares, she has a raw mama's journey ebook. We've got Darlene. She's got her bounce back after she had her baby. We have Dr. Rick and Karen Dina. They contributed their Powerhouse Smoothies ebook. They have a 2.5-year-old named Liam who's raw. Then there's Happy Raw Rennie, and she has also 2.5-year-old baby Lily, and she's raw as well. And they both breastfed. And then there's also Wendy, who has her smoothie ebook, and she just had a baby as well, and I believe she's breastfeeding too. So there's 5 mamas in this bundle. And then Alana from Natural Minta, she's not fully raw, but she's very high raw, and she's got twin little boys. So there's lots of information in the bundle that could probably help you. And just remember to make sure that you eat enough and you eat enough variety. You're not limiting your amount of foods that you can eat. You're not limiting your calories. Avoid skipping meals. Just make sure that you're well nourished so you're not only nourishing your baby, but also yourself. and that you have enough calories in. So hopefully that helps. Be careful with the garlic and onions because it may cause gas. So that's a great comment that I want to address, because onions and garlic are not the problem. Onions and garlic cause gas for people with weaker microbiomes, but they do not cause gas and bloating for people with strong microbiomes. And onions and garlic actually are very high in inulin and allicin in onions specifically, which feed our good microbiome. So garlic is an amazing ingredient because it's like almost selective. It kills off the bad, but it also feeds the good. And adding garlic into your diet can actually help improve your microbiome because it kills off the bad, but it also feeds the good. So it brings that balance back. Same with onions. So if you do have gas and bloating, it's not garlic and onions' fault. It's just that your gut needs a little bit of help and it might be in a weaker state. So in those cases, I recommend starting with smaller amounts that you feel comfortable with and being more consistent with it to help build your gut. Because as you build your gut, you're able to digest and use higher quantities of the foods that you may have been sensitive to originally, but it's all because of the state of your gut. It's not the food's fault. Same with broccoli. I can eat loads of broccoli and I don't get gas, but I've got a very, very strong microbiome that I've worked on over the last decade. So as you improve and as you grow with your gut, you can eat more of these foods, more fiber varieties, that kind of thing. Think of it as like going to the gym. As you work your muscles with the little 5-pound weights, you can graduate to the 10-pound weights. And then, as you get used to those ones, you can graduate to the 15-pound weights. So as your muscles grow, you increase the weight. Same with your gut. As your gut grows, then you can increase the amount from the other foods that could have been issues in the past for you. So hopefully that can help somebody out there. What did you cook? Just got on here. What did you cook? Yeah. So I made the biryani, and this recipe is in Make It Raw Volume 3 that you can get in the bundle. Click the link in my bio to get the bundle. If you already got the bundle, you can make this too. It's the biryani. I didn't make the chutney, but you can totally make the chutney and put a little bit on the top. It's so delicious with this. So that's what I made today for lunch. Let's see what else. Do we have any other questions here before I head off to go for lunch? Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining for all the lives for this bundle event. It's been a really awesome event. The raw bundle is only here once a year and it ends tomorrow. We will not be back until 2025 in May again, but it'll be a completely different bundle. You will not get the same stuff in the raw bundle every year because every year we create brand new content for it. So as soon as this bundle's over, we're gonna get started on the next new content. It takes a whole year for all of the creators to create the content for this bundle. So we put a lot of work into it and we give it to you for $50. So you can get all of our brand new content right now for only $50. Just go to the link in my bio, click the link in the description box below and go grab the bundle before it's over, because I get tons of messages after the bundle is over and people were like, oh, I meant to buy it, but I got distracted. I meant to, and then they don't. So please, if it's something that you want, please go grab it because we don't extend the bundle. Once the bundle's over, it's over. We don't have it for sale anymore. You can get the ebooks separately from everybody, but in order to get them all, it would be over $800. So if you want everything for $50, now's your chance. And so thank you for joining me for this live. Hope you enjoy this delicious dish. And we will see you on the final live that we have today is at 5 p.m. PST. We're going to be chatting with Enzyme. His real name is Daniel McKinnon. We're going to be chatting with him because his ebook is one of the most creative ebooks that I've seen. And he's amazing. He's super creative with his ingredients, and like he's the one that does like the raw corn dogs, and he has like this riceless paper and it's so delicious, and his recipes are amazing. We're going to be making burgers and enjoying them for the first time live on his live at 5 p.m. PST today. And then tomorrow is the final day of the bundle. So Sunday, Mother's Day, is the last day that you can get it. So grab it now before it's gone. And I'm going to go enjoy this lunch. Thank you, everybody. Love you.